Yeah, wasn't that cruel? I made you wait and snipped off this last problem here. Hopefully you worked on it. I'm going to throw some dimensions on here. We know that height is 5. We know one of the bases is 12. You know the other base is mystery. Can't figure that one out right away. You know your formula for the area of a trapezoid looks something like that. And you certainly could plug in variables and do this algebraically. You could plug in the area, which is given, 85. You could plug in base 1. You could say that's 12. You could say base 2 is the one you don't know. The height was given. Height was 5. You could plug all those values in and solve. Some of you, algebraically, I've noticed, don't really know how to solve that, which is a really easy equation to solve. You should know how to clear fractions from Algebra 1. You'd multiply both sides of this equation by 2. So this would become 190. You should know how to, so I'm going to cover that up for a minute, pretend the 1/2's not there. You should know how to get rid of the 5 without distributing it. I mean, you certainly can distribute if you want. You should know how to divide both sides by 5. Now, I'm just showing some algebraic ways to do this. If you divide both sides by 5, in other words, divide that by 5, you get 17. I'm also multiplying by 2 because I'm trying to clear that fraction on there. You should get to somewhere you get to a step like this. Now, you certainly could have gotten this another way, but the missing base should have been 22. Like I said, there's other ways to do this. Your algebra step from here down to here, the steps could look differently. You could distribute the 1/2 and distribute the 5. I like to do division and multiplication before I distribute on a problem like this. But you should get, and it should make sense, 22 plus 12. If you divide by 2, you should get around 17, which should make sense. 17 times 12 gets you back to 85 square units. And of course, that was the other part of the question. What's the mid-segment? Mid-segment 17. I've seen some people in the past that have given the same problem. They like to find this first. It's easier for them, and then they can work back to find the base. I don't know which one makes more sense. Those are the 2 answers you should have had on that. There is no homework with this section. It's a pretty long section on here. My expectations are you're going through these problems, you're pausing, you're thinking about these. Tomorrow in Tuesday's class, Mr. Snyder's going to give you an area packet, which has got, I think, 4 or 5 pages, or 3 front and back. Is what it really looks like. I think it's 2.5 front and back. But it's a lot of problems, and you're going to have all of class on Tuesday to work on it. The freshmen will be going on Wednesday and Thursday because they're taking the SBAC test. So sophomores, you do not have to do the whole packet in Tuesday's class. Try to get at least 1 page of it done. Work on another page in Wednesday's class. I'd like to collect that on Thursday. I'd like to have Mr. Snyder collect that on Thursday. So freshmen, you're not going to be here. Don't worry about handing it on Thursday. But sophomores should be handing that paper in on Thursday. And don't be afraid to work together or ask questions with Mr. Snyder. He's very good at this. He can help you certainly get through it. Every year I've given this thing out, it takes quite a bit of time, and there's some tricky problems on there. You do not have to work in order on it, but it is a lot of problems. I think it's like 60 problems, something like that, 50 or 60 problems. So that's going to get you pretty close to through the week. I'll see you guys shortly. I'll be back in a few days. I'd love to hear some feedback on how well this is working. Recording these videos on YouTube, I have no idea if I'm successful with it, if it's working for you as an individual. And I've never done it before, so if you want to jot down some comments to me, if you want to shoot me an email, tell me how it's going. I'm very curious as to whether this is effective or not. And it's just short term, but I'd like to know whether it's something I could use later on, because I will be out later in the year as well. So I've talked enough. You probably want me to be quiet. Some of you probably cut me off by now. You're probably not even listening right now. You've probably hit stop. You've moved on to something else. You're now surfing the net. You're seeing the latest scores in the basketball games, or you're looking for something to buy on Craigslist, or you've moved on to an English assignment, or maybe a science assignment. At this point, you probably should have done that, because I'm not talking about anything important. I'm just wasting your time right now, just to see if you're going to stay tuned or not. Have a great day. Enjoy. See you in a little while.